Hello, everybody. This is Peter Palmiotti of Making Comics and Art, episode 139. And let me do my normal little things. Let's see. Still trying to pass 1,000 subscribers. What is it? 946. So 54 to go. It's been an incredible past 30 days. I got like 54 subscribers. So we have another month or so like that coming up. That would be awesome. And I am supporting a bunch of other channels. If you go to my Facebook group, Create Our Own Comic Group, I have a 1K subscriber club where you can drop your name with your link and a brief description of your channel. I'm trying to get comic maker channels or channels that talk about comics, interviews with creators and all that jazz. So we have Michael, Mark, and Russell all trying to grow their channels. The links are below the video, so go give them a look, watch a few videos, and subscribe to their channel. The only other thing I'll mention really quick is Mavericks. Global Frequency. Mavericks is on its last day on Indiegogo. If you haven't already pledged to their campaign today, I believe it ends 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not positive on that, but it's coming up. They have a short, limited time left. They passed 13,000. Let's see if they can pass 14,000. They're doing really, really good, and they have a great, great book. So give it a look. And tomorrow I have Chad Ness coming up. But today I have Phil. Hey, bro.
What's going on? Chad Nuss is a great guy, and he's a really talented artist. His book, The Silence, looks really good.
Yeah, it's insanely good. I'm excited to be able to talk to him. But today it's all about tragedy.
Yeah, it's a tragedy, all right. How's it going?
I thought you were live. Dory was live. I thought she was premiering her book. Maybe she met later. Anyway, welcome one and all.
So what's going on?
So you're on Indiegogo with Tragedy right now.
Yes.
And you
I think we have like 22 days to go.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean it funded. I had it at a low fund because we had a very successful Kickstarter in May. I'm grateful to everybody that came out and supported, but it has been a challenge reaching new audience members and getting new pledgers and backers for the Indiegogo. Again, I'm grateful to everybody, but I'm hoping to make a few more funds so that I can really complete issue 2.
Right. Well, it's like, I'm sure, like myself, like you're more familiar with Kickstarter. You're probably have a following there automatically, even before you did your first Kickstarter. Because I've been pledging to Kickstarter campaigns since it's been around.
Right.
And you sort of like, you can follow people there, and I have a whole bunch of people following me there. So it's almost like a built-in audience with Indiegogo.
It's a more specified audience, I think, with Indiegogo for sure.
Yeah, and it's something you have to just do something there and grow. So this is your first time.
Billy Tucci and Niall Scala were telling me go to Indiegogo, and there were a lot of people that are telling me that they only support Indiegogo, so I decided to go there to try to reach that audience.
Right.
Right. So, we'll see. There's a lot of time left, and, we have funded, and people have been very supportive, sharing out a lot, which is which is really awesome, and I really appreciate that a lot. You know, I mean, as much as I love money, just the support of the community is that's just big. You know, that really makes me know that I'm doing something right.
Yeah. I was telling you before the show, there's a Twitter handle, I think it's Comics for Everyone, that's really been supportive and really been sharing out the tragedy. You know, it's
Yeah, I'm
got
gonna
like
have to look. I didn't even know.
a bunch of the artwork they're sharing out with the link, and you know, go check it out, whatever they're saying in the tweet. But they've been really supportive, and people have been liking that and retweeting that. So, you know, there is like things happening on the internet.
And you know, I mean, the best thing you can do as an indie guy is just get exposure. I think a lot of people, they're hell bent on, I got to make a dime on every product they put out there, and of course you want to, like Real Arcalian said, you know, we love money, but if I were to throw a ton of money into Facebook promotion just to get the book out there to people, that doesn't guarantee they're looking at the book. But if whether it's just the PDF, or maybe I can selectively throw a few issues out there where people are sharing out their reviews of having read it, I mean, that's priceless. That's how you get a following, you know. And I was very lucky because on the Kickstarter, I have a lot of varying covers, and I have big names like Will Spatasio, Ian Churchill, Chen, Larry Stroman, etc., Chance Wolfe. But of the 226 backers, 85 of them either bought just the regular studio cover or the PDF. And a lot of people are like, oh, that sucks. You could have made a lot more money if they bought more covers. I was like, no, these people want to read the book. They're not collecting for covers. They want to read the book. And that's the best thing that could possibly happen to me, is read the book. And if I know how to write, and I think I do, hopefully, then you know what? They'll come back for more.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. It's the cover thing it's smart business. But yeah, I know most of my friends, they'll pick a nice cover out of the batch, but yeah, they want the insides, the comic itself.
Well, and that's why when I put the interior pages up on the campaigns, I show them pages that have dialogue, because I mean, you could have a pretty looking book, but then you read it and you go, oh, this is garbage. So I figured, let them see how I write, and if it resonates with them and they think it's worth it, then they would be more inclined to get the book, because people work hard for their money, and a lot of people aren't even making $15 an hour. So when you're buying a $20 variant or an $8 book, you have to work a lot at a job you're probably not happy with just to buy my book. And I want to give the best quality I can, because I understand the sacrifice people make to work that job and then hand that money over to me so that I can live my dream and put out my book. So I think the least they deserve is the highest quality and the best that I can give them. So everybody says the book is professionally done. The artwork is beautiful by Ricardo, of course, and the card stock is extremely high. It's a really good, solid book. It's 30 pages of story with no ads. I had people that asked and offered to put ads in there, and I could have made money off the ads, but I just didn't feel it would be good for readers to have ads in there. I mean, I'm a new writer. I'm a new book. I didn't want to go that route, so I just, I put my faith in my writing and in Ricardo's art and everybody's contribution, and hoped for the best. And I mean, so far so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a great looking product from cover to cover. It's quality, and I'll read it when I get my copy.
And well, I sent you the PDF, didn't I?
Yeah, but I don't read PDFs. I
was going to say, a lot of people got the PDF, and I'm not trying to talk them into anything, but the physical copy just pops so much nicer than a PDF. The pages, just the colors, the artwork, just pop and resonate so much nicer in comic form. And I'm old school. I prefer to hold a book in my hand, smell the paper. It's just me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I mean, it's like I do get PDFs of, people say, hey, check out my book and give it a read. And, then I'll have them on my channel and stuff. So I'm obliged to read the PDF, but if I can avoid it, I will. But do you want to go over to the Indiegogo right now? Share it out. So we can,
did you want me to screen share or your screen sharing?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah. If you can do it, my internet.
Yeah, let me get it set up. Actually, it's been good lately, though. It's only when you're on my show that your internet goes to crap.
Yeah, it's not personal, but.
Oh, I know. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Listen, if I got bent out of shape about stuff like that, I'd really be in bad shape. Yeah, I mean, there's enough going on to,
Keep it busy.
So I just gotta pull this up because I didn't realize I was going to do this. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry to be unprepared.
Oh, it's okay. This isn't 2020.
Yeah. Oh, what did it do? Don't do that. No, I didn't want that. Indiegogo, come on. So my daughter, she's standing here next to me. She's not coming on camera because she's shy, I guess. But she has a cover. I mean, it's only for the family. I only printed 10, but she did a cover for the book, and very proud of her. She's 9 years old. And you'll be proud, Pete, as an inker, because I tried to teach her the right way to do things. So right. She penciled it, then she went over it and inked it, and then she colored it. Because she is, I'm trying to teach her the proper process. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw the covers you were showing off in one of your streams. And that's pretty special. That's awesome.
I think I put it up, but I think you have to. There you go.
Click it.
So I mean, it was $500 flexible goal because again, the books are printed already. So anybody who buys off Indiegogo, it'll get shipped out to you. There's no fulfillment time. You'll get the book right away. I have books in hand. Although I'm almost out of the first printing, so I will have to print some more. And, we have 20 backers with 22 days left, $872. So I'm very grateful. I've funded right away. Definitely would love to get to 1,000 by, maybe by Monday. That'd be awesome if possible. This is Ian Churchill's art right here. So basically, if it's okay to give the synopsis.
Yeah.
I'm a father of 2 little girls, and of course I'm married to my beautiful, lovely wife, Stephanie. And throughout my entire life, I've never met a woman who realized how beautiful they were, how strong they were, how powerful they were, how smart they were. But then I also looked at just humans in general, the things that make men and women similar. And I, looking at my wife and looking at women that I've met and just looking at people I've seen, I came up with this character who I think is very relatable because she's this badass fighter and everything, but what makes her human is that she has her moments of doubt. She's fighting these inner demons, her own conflicts of, what she's capable of, and she's also living a life that she doesn't want to live. Her life that she loved was taken from her, and she's living a life she doesn't want to live. And just like so many of us, including creators, right. We sit there and we want this other life so badly, and we work so hard at it, and sometimes we feel like, is it ever going to come, or do we deserve it, or are we ever going to get it, or how do we get it? So I mean, there's a lot of action in the book, but the human element is her strength is not that she always beats the bad guy, because she actually doesn't. Sometimes she wins, sometimes she doesn't. the strength in the character, sorry about the train, is that even though she may not win that fight, she gets up the next day, she gets up and she still does what she has to do, like the rest of us. How many days do you get up in the morning and you don't want to face your work day or whatever? And you do anyway. That's your strength. Now, I'm kind of tired of the way comics are written right now. I really am. I'm not trying to appeal to any specific demographic. I'm not trying to placate to anyone, and I certainly my political and social views are not in the book, because you're not here to hear my pompous soapbox opinion. You're here to read a good story. So none of that is in there. It's just she's an Irish assassin in Hell's Kitchen. Now, I picked Hell's Kitchen because my father actually grew up in Hell's Kitchen, and the Westies, which was the Irish Mafia, were based in Hell's Kitchen. And my dad, he didn't run with them, but he was on good terms with them. Like, he didn't do any jobs for them or anything, but he was like, hey, what's going on? And they were like, hey, Bill, what's going on? And but he stayed clear, but he stayed friendly. So I just thought, you know what, let's try to keep it a little real. Hell's Kitchen is where the Irish Mafia are. And so we went with that. It deals with rival mobs, but it also has metahumans in it. There's this whole world that is hinted at in the first book. We deal with Asian culture and magic and mysticism, and it all fits in. And a lot of comics these days have gotten away from action. It's become very melodramatic to me. And what do you get? One page of like 4 panels of a few people swinging at each other, and then the fight is over. I have like 8 pages of fights. Like an 8-page fight, just going at it. And it's entertaining, and I think it's fun. And I think you can relate to the characters, and you root for her, because real heroes don't always beat the villain. I mean, that's why we loved Empire Strikes Back. The bad guys kick their ass. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And like He-Man, it's hard to take He-Man serious because he always beats Skeletor. Skeletor puts his tail between his legs, cackles, and runs off, and then he comes back. And you always wonder how these people keep following this fool that keeps getting his butt kicked. Well, we have the Breath of the Dragon, and he is an adversary of her. By the way, here are some samples of the page and the artwork that you'll see. Yep. It opens up with an action scene, and then we get into dialogue. Anyway, here are some pages blown up for you to see. Ricardo Silva is the artist. I do little Easter eggs. Other indie characters are in the book from other indie creators, and I give them credit at the back of the book. This is Apollo by Kevin Stewart, and I throw some indie characters in there for fun. That's John Ottinger's Dweor. So, I want to be part of the community and help other indie artists as well. So we have Breath of the Dragon, and these are reviews, by the way, which I'm going to show you on the covers. This is the studio cover. There's the digital reward. There's the digital and the copy. This is Ricardo Silva's cover. Roy Mercado's cover, colored by Russ Cassidy. It's amazing. Yep. That's Roy's... That's a Virgin cover. It's his original cover. It was just haunting, so I wanted to do that as well. This is Henry Martinez, who drew Spirits of Vengeance and Blaze, and Keith Williams inked over it, and Mato Zapata colored. My wife, with the great Peter Palmiotti on inks, and Mato Zapata on background and colors, did this wraparound cover. So Peter has a wraparound cover on this Indiegogo. Thank you, Peter.
My pleasure.
Yeah, my wife was excited to have a DC Marvel inker do her work. So this is Chris Mad, fantastic cover. That's the Breath of the Dragon, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. We have an homage by Geraldo Borges, who is a DC Marvel artist, colors by Mato Zapata. It's after Todd McFarlane's Hulk 340. This is Ace Continuado with Adelsa Corona inks, Signatory colors. This is local artist who's blowing up big time crease, Hyung Sung Lee, with Mato Zapata colors. Obviously an homage to Hulk 181. I really wanted to go with the original. When it mattered, you're right. Real, yeah, you're right. He's right. When it had clout, when it mattered. We went with the original colors because I always see these homages done in like a modern color, and it doesn't really look like an homage to me, So we went with all classic here. Obviously, just changing the literature and the characters, but that's the Breath of the Dragon. That's the Breath of the Dragon, and I'm going to talk about him. This is the Larry Stroman cover. We have another Larry Stroman cover from the Kickstarter. If you want to go look, it's colored differently. This is a color variant by Signatori. So we have two different color variants from this. If you like the other color variant, I still have some left. If you want to reach out to me, DM. That's the Virgin cover. This is Sean Chen's cover. I call it Ride the Lightning. It's so cool. Sigmund colored this. Again, that's Breath of the Dragon. Breath of the Dragon's an adversary in the book, and he's probably the toughest hand-to-hand fighter you're ever going to find. You can't beat him, and there's a reason for that, which you'll find out in issue 2. It all makes sense why he wears armor. He is relentless when he fights you. He's constantly on top of you. You can't get away from him. He just keeps coming at you, and he doesn't stop. He's relentless. And there's a reason for that. And for you to be able to tag him and hit him is almost impossible. And there's a reason you're going to find out in book 2. I'm very proud of this. I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do this in a book. Breath of the Dragon. I did all the character designs, and Ricardo just brought them to life. It's like he read my mind. And I'm really proud, being that I'm not an artist, of these character designs, because I think they just... I know I'm biased, but I'm really proud of them. I think they look badass. So there's the Virgin of Sean Chen. And I understand it's hard for people to spend this kind of money on a cover. I do get it. It's just, unfortunately, these are big names that don't do variants, and they're limited to 75 copies, and that's it in the world. And a lot of people are getting them and grading them, and because the card stock is so high on my book, they can get a 9.9, maybe even a 10. I mean, there's not a wrinkle on them. They're beautiful. No. This is the Ian Churchill. Again, Ian doesn't do variants. You don't see him, he's a big DC Marvel artist. He doesn't do variants. I mean, he did the Cable run in the 90s. He did Supergirl. He's done Teen Titans, The Outsiders. He's done a lot of stuff. And this cover is just gorgeous. This is a color variant as well. So is this. We have a Sean Chen color variant from the Kickstarter. I have some of these copies left. Not a lot, but I have some left if anybody's interested in the other version. There's the Virgin. Ian Churchill, as great as he is, and as big a name as he is, took so much pride in this cover. We discussed the simple concept of her looking in the mirror at a reflection of the life she wanted, and he came up with all this. And I was just floored.
That's really nice.
This is a color variant of Will Spartacio. He's co-founder of Image Comics, and he did Wetworks, and he did X Factor and X-Men, and created Bishop, and a lot of stuff. He does not do variant covers at all, not even for DC or Marvel, and he did one for me, and I'm grateful. And this is very rare. And again, Tragedy may not be a big book right now, and hopefully it will be, but to have a rare cover from Will Spartacio that you could probably get graded at a 9.9 or 10, I think would be great if you're an investor in comics. And every one of these will come with the PDF, so you don't even have to crack this book open. You can read the PDF and just slab it if you want. There's the Virgin. This sold really well on Kickstarter. This is the Jim O'Reilly with Signatory colors. I thought he did a great job of the femininity of her. I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but I feel like today they can't make a strong feminine character without either A, emasculating men, or B, turning them kind of butchy, giving them a butch haircut and making them cranky. And I like that she can maintain her femininity and still be a tough character, Steph Wilson, he has a unique style. I thought this was a nice contrast to the intensity of the character to just do this, and it was fun, and it looks great. This sold a lot. This is Chris Graves, colored by Russ Cassidy. Thanks, Real Arcalian. I really am tired. Like Tila, you have to give her that like really masculine haircut and make her this really cranky woman, it's kind of like you're turning her into a man instead of saying a woman can still be feminine and be a badass. I don't understand that. I mean, when you look at Ripley and Sarah Connor in those movies, they didn't have to emasculate men. The Reese was just as tough. Hicks was just as tough, and they still held their own, and they were still feminine. Chance Wolfe, who inked Todd McFarlane's Spawn, is an awesome dude. He gave me this cover. He said it inspired him. He loved the aesthetics of the character. It inspired him to draw again. And he gave me this badass 90s looking cover. I mean, I love this cover. The colors pop. It just looks amazing. It shows no answer to that problem, You were talking about He-Man earlier. Well, what they did in that reboot show is no answer to that problem, Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not even so much upset that He-Man wasn't in the show a lot, because I think the payoff is going to be they showed you what the world is without He-Man. Right. So that's going to be more impactful if they bring him back. What's going to ruin it is if they don't bring him back and they turn Teela or somebody else into the new He-Man. That I think would be a big letdown. I think right now it's okay if the payoff is when He-Man comes back, it's going to be glorious because they're showing you how important he was to the world. Anyway, I digress. Roy Mercado, at a discounted price, you could buy both covers at $35. Again, I just think this cover is amazing. It's haunting. It's beautiful. Breath of the Dragon in the background. This is an Indiegogo exclusive. It's the foil cover of Roy Mercado's cover. You can only get this on Indiegogo. It is going to be extremely rare. I didn't see the ending yet. We got 2 episodes left to watch, my daughters and I, so please don't ruin it. I didn't. And if it happens that it is going to be Teela who becomes, the master of the universe, whatever, then I'm going to be disappointed. But don't tell me. So this is rare to Indiegogo. This is the only place you can get it. It's a foil. I think this is beautiful. No, don't shut up. Not at all. You're not sidetracking. I enjoy the conversation. I appreciate you here listening to me ramble on. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Peter, if I'm doing all the talking. I'm just trying to sell.
No. Hey, go for
it. We have the foil Larry Stroman. These are limited to 20. Foil Ride the Lightning, the Sean Chen. You like that one? My daughter likes that. This one here. Yeah, it is cool, right? And when you flip it, like when you turn the cover, it'll show like the lightning coming down. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. And you like the Ian Churchill also? You can talk. It's okay, honey. My 9-year-old daughter is here with us, Melanie. She's a published cover artist already. Good job, kid. Yep. This is the Ian Churchill, again with the foil. Just imagine the reflection in the mirror. It's going to look so... I can't wait to see these in hand. Limited to 20. And, of course, the Motto Zapata. Colored by over Will Spartacio's lines. This will be a foil cover. If, as add-ons, these are the original covers submitted to me by these artists. This was Ian Churchill's cover. I made a comic book size print. It's just $5 as an add-on. So if you want to get the cover and it's the same size and you want to frame them and put them side by side in your wall, you can. This is the Henry Martinez and Keith Williams. Will Spartacio, Larry Stroman, Sean Chen. Oh, that came out low res. I don't know why. Ace Continuado with Adelso Corona inks. And, of course, we have an awesome comic-size print. Carlos Ramos lines with this really badass inker over him. What's this guy's name again? I think it's Peter Palmiotti. Hey. Did the inks on this. And then Chris Sotomayor did the colors. And Chris has colored like every book in your collection, by the way, from DC and Marvel. So this is a comic-size print that's available as well. I'm an art fan, so...
I really like that piece.
Yeah, it came out great. And I liked the colors that Chris put on it. So basically, I really feel that I wrote a story that is... The character is relatable to you. I think you root for her. She's flawed. She's not perfect. She doesn't win every fight. But she still gets up and she does what she has to do, even when she doesn't want to. I think the writing is solid. I mean, it's other than my children and my wife, it's the first thing in my life I did that I look back at and I don't cringe. I mean, I was a musician and everybody would tell me how good a drummer I was. And when I look back, I always like cringe, like, oh, I made a mistake there, or I did this. If I go back and read the book, I actually smile and I say, you know what, I don't suck. So I really hope people take a chance on this. I think you'll enjoy it. And I guess my pitch would say, instead of spending that $8 on that overpriced cup of coffee at Starbucks where they spell your name wrong on the cup, just give the story a shot. You know, I mean, for $15, you can get the PDF and the book, you know? And this is the quality of the interiors. I mean, it's a professional looking book. The cardstock is extremely thick. It's high. It's not tissue paper that folds in your hands, you know? And Jason Meadows did the lettering, and I love stuff he did like this. This is my favorite panel. Ricardo's detail in the audience is just gorgeous, and on the balconies, and it's done in a sepia color because it's a flashback. So Sigmund did a great job on that. And just look what Jason did with the lettering. It's just so nice. And I challenged Jason because I didn't give him a lot of room for all the lettering, and he did a great job. I'm just really proud of everybody that's been a part of this, and I'm appreciative. That includes you, Peter. Thank you for your contributions. And
my pleasure.
I hope the book really gets out there and a lot of people can resonate. I know this sounds corny, but you know, the fantasy is to kind of be sitting at a table at New York Con someday and some like 15, 16-year-old kid, you know, some girl comes up to me and with her mom and she says that she really relates to the character and you know, it somehow resonated with them, you know, or just anybody. You know, that's the dream, to just resonate with people on a human level. I mean, Daredevil will fight 100 ninjas and he goes home and he's fine. It's like, what's for lunch? She doesn't. She fights for her life, and then she's in the shower going, oh my God, what the hell did I just go through? You know, because who wouldn't? It's shocking. Yeah. You know, I mean, if someone started a fist fight with you, that resonates with you for a day or two at least. I mean, and that was just a fist fight, not someone trying to stab you and kill you, you know?
Totally.
So we didn't do all the covers from the Kickstarter because it was just overwhelming to some people. But if you go to the Kickstarter and you see covers you like, I still have some left. Actually, there's some I'm sold out of that I'm already going to second printing, but I can get them printed and you can get them. So, again, that's my rambling spiel. I just hope people take a chance on it. I mean, we waste money on a lot of stuff. Cigarettes and alcohol or drugs or expensive candy or, you know, whatever, coffee, ice cream. And by no means am I saying don't buy that stuff. But maybe just this week you give my comic a shot instead of buying one of those things, you know? That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. I do get a lot of reviews. A famous writer and editor from Marvel who created a big-time character really liked the story, and he said it was solid. There were no plot holes. It was well written. I've had some people tell me that they could see that. Sorry about the train. My Claremont influence, because in the first chapter I introduce you to a bunch of characters and they open up a lot of plot lines from the start, but not in a not like it's pushed too hard or too fast. And they can see that I'm playing the long game because this is an ongoing series. I'm going to be making this as long as I have a story to tell. And the second that I don't have a story to tell, I'm going to stop. There is no boring filler or exposition in my book. Every page is meaningful. The dialogue is meaningful. It's insight into a character. I can't stand the way Netflix shows had been going, or shows go like Walking Dead, etc. You have all these boring filler episodes of exposition that make you go, why did I sit through this hour? Because they don't push the story. You know, or you look at the CW shows and it's like 22 episodes and this really could have been an 8 to 10 episode season. I can't stand that. I take pride in the pacing of my book. It moves from the start and it all makes sense. You know, the dialogue makes sense. It's for a reason. It's not just boring silly stuff for the sake of filling in pages.
If you've been compared to Chris Claremont, then I think I'll like it.
I was shocked. I don't know if anybody else will see it that way. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what two people told me, and I actually almost fell on the floor. And I'm not saying that I can write as well as Chris Claremont. I think they just that they see that he was an influence in the way I write.
Right.
And there was a huge cliffhanger at the end of this book that everybody's like, "Holy cow! I can't believe you did that," and they can't wait to see where it goes from here. So,
so tragedy is really retro. That's the secret.
And the funny thing is, all puns aside, it is. I think this is a book that goes back to the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's like a lot of recent comics have lost the concept of what makes a good comic. And I'm ecstatic to see a lot of independent creators making their own comics, because I think the main companies lost track of what the hell they're doing. Not that I'm following them at all, really, but
me neither. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah. It's like even when I was in the mix of everything, going up to Marvel and DC all the time, they go through their cycles, and it's like, without real focus or like goals, they just randomly do things, and they stop people's stories and bring on new teams, and like they do everything wrong. It's like part of
and they keep doing it wrong.
Yeah, part of the reason I want to do my own comic is like, because I realize like what's been done greatly, and how did they stick with it, and it's like, just follow the basic concepts of that, and you can put out a good book ongoing, like you intend to do with yours, and I intend to do with mine.
Right.
It's like, it's not too hard. Just don't bury it in garbage.
Well, it's not too hard if you're not a narcissist who thinks that your opinion should be everybody else's. I don't have that narcissism or ego in me. I don't, whatever my beliefs are on certain subjects are mine, and I don't need to shove them down your throat. You believe what you want to believe, and as long as you act like a good person, you're not going to be vilified. By the way, I just want to say real quick, some people didn't understand this panel. I do not sexualize my character. I'm not really a TNA guy when it comes to comic books. This was to show the scars on her body and what she's gone through. So don't let this panel fool you. It's the only panel. That's why I added the mist here, because we're not here to show booby. Nothing against it. If you're selling booby and people want that, that's fantastic. It's just not my thing. I don't think women's empowerment should be through how attractive they are. It should be about their mind and their spirit and their soul. I know that sounds corny, but that's just how I feel, and that's what this is about. So I just want to make that clear, so people don't think this is oh, look at the hot redhead. I don't care for that stuff. I'm not against it. I'm not knocking anybody who does that. It's just not what I want in my character. That's why when people do fan art, I tell them, as long as you don't sexualize her. I mean, let's be realistic. Look at that. She's covered up to the neck because she needs protection from weapons. Why is her cleavage going to be out as an assassin? I'm not baring my chest so you can shoot me or stab me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bare my chest so you can get distracted so I can kill you.
Yeah. So, and there's significance to why she wears that mask, which obviously is where I get tragedy from. It's a theater mask. It's there's tragedy and there's comedy in theater. This is tragedy.
So let me ask you something. You intended for it to be a mask, and some of your artists did it as almost like a helmet.
Yeah, it was artist interpretation, and I wasn't going to nitpick anybody because I like artists to be free. I mean, I gave them the references. Some things were changed up. Breath of the Dragon sometimes looked like a dragon. Sometimes you had like a beak. It's artist interpretation, and I wasn't going to nitpick any artist because I can't draw verses for crap. So.
But I mean, at some point you said you might change it. Are you going with the mask, or?
She's going to continue to have a mask. The Breath of the Dragon was originally a mask, and then it didn't look good, so I turned it into this helmet. And the best example of showing it's a helmet is this cover by Chris Madd. It's a helmet going into the back for him.
Right.
This is a metal helmet. It's not cloth. It's not a cloth mask or anything. Hers is a mask. Like most people drew it as a mask, as you can see.
Yeah.
And then some people, it became more than that, but it really isn't. So it's just a mask for her.
Yeah.
But I think Chen and Kreese captured Breath of the Dragon best on his look and, his armor and everything. I think they captured best.
I really like Sean's cover, and I especially like the coloring on the Indiegogo version. Came out really nice.
Yeah, I think so too. Sean is one of the best, if not the best, in doing backgrounds in the business. The version that's on Kickstarter, I think, looks great. I think it was great that they used dusk, as the setting, because nobody ever does that. So I love that cover a lot. But I love how this contrasts that cover, and it accentuates the nighttime and the city background, and the lightning just brings power to this fight, especially as they're about to clash. So I think both covers in their own right bring a different dynamic, which contrast each other really well, and I love them. And being a creator, it's great to have them side by side.
I'll tell you a quick Sean Chen story, because I met him when I was working up at Valiant, and I was hired to be a background anchor up there, and so Bob was I basically walked in, met Bob. He said, "Okay, yeah, I'm looking for somebody. Go grab a table." And I'm like, "Oh, that's it? Oh, okay." It's like I had no idea I'd be hired on the spot. And then he's like, get Peter a page. It's like talking to whoever passed by, I guess. So somebody got me a page, and I started working on it. And I spent a good amount of time on it. I'm like, in the Valiant office back then, it was like the supreme studio, because everybody in the company, well, at least 99% of the company was working there, 9 to 5, 5 days a week. So it was editors, writers, production, pencilers, inkers, colorists, everything. And so I'm like a good ways into doing the backgrounds on the page, and like, mind you, it's like I jumped in blind. I really didn't have anybody that said any direction or anything. And it turns out the artist, the penciler himself, was sitting right in front of me. And he turns around, looks at the page, and like, "What the hell are you doing? It looks like R. Crumb. It's like you're inking it completely wrong." And Sean Chen was sitting to my left, and it's like, whoa. He just started working here. Nobody told me anything, and and defended me like
nice.
day one.
That sounds like Sean. He's a good man.
He is. He's super cool and super talented, man. I always love watching him work, and his pencils are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a hell of a nice guy. He'll be at my show on Saturday, too. Too bad you're not local, Pete. You could have been there.
Yeah, I know. One day. I'll make it out to one of your shows.
Yeah, this is one of the small ones, though. It's not my big 2-day. This is just it's an art show that it's $5 at the door, and people can hang out and get some art and have a good time. So.
Yeah. Well, would be worth it. You know, if I had the money and the time at the moment, it would totally be worth it. You know, because you can get to talk with everybody up close and personal. You know.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the thing that a lot of people were talking about. Oh, cons are a thing of the past. The virtual is the way to go. Look at the numbers we're getting. And I was like, you guys have no clue. These are inflated numbers because nobody can go anywhere. You cannot beat the energy and the excitement of being at a con and having cosplayers walking around and face to face with that artist or writer that you always admired their work and getting to talk to them and seeing them sign their name in person. You can never beat that social aspect because we are social creatures by nature. As you know, reclusive as some people can be, in general, people are social creatures.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't beat the energy of a physical convention. And you know, people, I'm not naming the names, but they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Look at conventions right now. People are booming coming to these conventions. They're all doing well. Hopefully mine will too.
Yeah.
And the numbers are going down on all these live streams that we used to get. I used to get 1,600 views on my live stream per episode. Now I get like 300 or 400. That's because people are out now. They're not watching this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a surge in people essentially doing exactly what I'm doing here, but you know, things shift and turn and whatever. You know, conventions are and always will be a heck of a lot of fun, and I'm always exhausted afterwards because even if I have a table, I run around and see all my friends and
right,
say hello to everybody. You know, you can't
absolutely.
Stop me.
Absolutely, and you know, and that's another thing that a lot of the creators miss. They don't, you know, they don't get to see their fellow creators. Real Kalian was saying, even as a sedentary introvert, I appreciate the need to get back to normal. Sorry, was that too political? Not at all, but yeah, exactly. I mean, every once in a while, we all want to get off our butt and say hi to somebody.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I mean, I have a lot going on. I do my live stream. I'm an art rep. I have my physical conventions. I got Tragedy. Tragedy number 2 is underway. We're 5 pages in. I'm hoping to launch that in Kickstarter around October, November. Part of me is thinking of doing the Billy Tucci route, but I don't think I'm big. I'm not big, so I don't think it'll be a good idea. But I thought about doing Kickstarter and Indiegogo at the same time. I'm probably not going to do that, but I was just mulling over ideas.
Right.
Because I know there's people are into tribalism now. You know, there are people that won't support Kickstarter. There are people who won't support Indiegogo, so they don't support the opposite platform. And I'm just trying to reach the largest audience possible because I think, you know, warring and fighting over these things and tribalism is just counterproductive. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're all supposed to be united by comic books. I mean, comic books are what helped me grow up and know right from wrong, heroes from villains. And I think it's like all blurred now.
Yeah. You know, I look at it like this, like, you know, if you were a novelist and you wrote a book, you would have it in Barnes and Noble, but you would also have it in the local mom and pop shop.
Right.
You know,
right.
So Kickstarter and Indiegogo, it's not a freaking gang sign. It's a storefront.
It's the Crips and the Bloods. What was it from West Side Story? It's, the Sharks and the Jets.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not here to crap on anybody's convictions or beliefs, so I'm not making fun of anybody who doesn't want to support the other. I just think it's a shame that it's come to that, is all I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, we're really all more alike than we realize, and we're so focused on differences of opinion or political stance or whatever and I think the powers that be have convinced us to think the other person is the enemy just because they support a different president or they or they believe in a different philosophy, or you can argue there's the educated and the uneducated, but that doesn't mean you're bad or good.
Yeah. Everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, hopefully also learns from their mistakes and
well,
gets along.
Real Arcalian was saying about how these days heroes lose too often, and they're not worth rooting for. I don't read new books anymore to know if the heroes are losing a lot or not, so I can't even say anything to that. But I do agree you don't even want to root for them anymore. I mean, look at you know what it is everybody's an anti-hero now. Superman is like angry all the time, and I don't get that at all, because we have Batman if we want angry. Superman's supposed to be the antithesis of honor, nobility, integrity. His power is not how strong and fast he is and flying. His power is that we all have a simple choice. The only thing that holds us back from doing bad things is either a conscience or consequences. And a perfect example is Facebook and social media. There are no consequences, so you see a lot of people act like ugly assholes because there's no consequences. You can't get wrapped in the mouth when you're talking over a keyboard. So here's Superman. He'll never face consequences because nobody can stop him. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So what keeps him in check? His conscience. Because as good as a person as I try to be, there are some people that I don't know if I had his power, I wouldn't slap the hell out of. And here he is fighting back the urge to let loose all the time. And that's where his strength and power comes from, to me anyway.
It's not like, can he lift, a super big car or, whatever. It's like, it's can he not throw it 10,000 miles away,
Right, or can he just say, you know what, I don't like how this is going. I'm going to go do what I want to do, and nobody can stop me. The army can't stop me. The police can't, because really, what consequences would he face in society? And yet it's his conscience that keeps him aligned. And how many of us can say we'd have that kind of strength of conviction? Because the best of us can lose our temper in a moment, and with that kind of strength can do something seriously wrong. And that's always been my appeal for Superman. He's what you aspire to be as a human being, or should, in my opinion. I mean, I get people love Batman because they want to believe that a human being could be gods and stuff like that and be more than they are. But honestly, at what point do you realize that Batman hasn't made the city better, and yet all that money could have probably helped the city better than him going around beating up thugs that just keep getting out of jail? you know?
It's part of the problem with popular villains is that they keep wanting to bring them back, but it defeats the purpose of their real power.
Well, here's the funny thing too: is I recognize Batman and Superman as probably being the most iconic, or like the best characters in the sense of. Not just because of them, but their rogues gallery. I mean, if you talk about the rogues gallery, you always bring up Batman and Spider-Man first, right? They have such a large rogues gallery, diverse rogues gallery, interesting characters. And I worked on that. I have 17 issues of Tragedy written. And I developed a rogues gallery that I'm proud of. There's some really good villains in here. And I have like 15 villains already in plot construction going on throughout this book. And they're diversified between superpowered and normal humans and other things, and I'm really proud of the rogues gallery. And getting back to what Real Arcalian was saying, Tragedy has her share of kicking some people's butts, but she also has her share of getting her butt handed to her, but she goes back and fights again anyway, and it's just to keep it real. So he doesn't get better because then there would be no story. That's what I always liked. His sidekick's better. I mean, the Robins have been awesome, and the Nightwing, honestly, is probably my favorite. Nightwing and Superman are my favorite DC characters. I love Wonder Woman. I don't think she's ever really written right anymore. It's just me. I'm old. I'm going to be 49 in October, and I'm just an old curmudgeon, I guess. But I love Nightwing.
I don't know if I ever read a lot of Wonder Woman. I mean, I love the character, and I read Justice League a lot. But it was always difficult. Like, it's like taking on Thor.
Well, that's the thing is, I always wondered. I don't know if they ever really knew where they wanted to go with Wonder Woman. Oh, sorry, you broke up.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, they kind of retconned her into this Greek god. She's a Greek god. Yeah. She used to use she used to be the Captain America of DC, and then she became the Thor of DC. And she used to fly an invisible jet, and now she flies on her own, and she's as strong as Superman in one thing, but then she can't knock the cheetah out. That I never understood. She's as strong as Superman. She can fight Superman toe to toe, but somehow she can't beat the cheetah. How is the cheetah even a worthwhile enemy?
I don't know.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big problem. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest problem with comics too, and I think I know why, and we've talked about this, is DC and Marvel, I think Image scared the hell out of them, because Image showed them that the writer and the artist can be the powerful force behind sales, which means they have the power. And I don't think DC and Marvel want that. They want the characters to be the driving force and the power. So if you consistently rotate writers and artists and never give them any, like Claremont had 17 years in X-Men, if you don't give them a long run, they're not going to amass that power. You get them off the book and you get somebody else on, and usually you get somebody lesser on the next time and then somebody big, or they bring them back later. And there's no continuity. Writers are changing so often that they're writing characters how they feel like writing them, how they think the character is, as opposed to how the character was. And then I think there's no natural progression of growth with a character, because, we did a 6-issue arc, but now this writer thinks that Wonder Woman should be this, and the 6-issue arc, she's totally different. And that's what hurt X-Men, because she's a cheetah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I know it's like editors thinking that, we'll put a new team on because sales drop by 10 issues a month or whatever ridiculous thing. And they expect a new sort of storyline. So they're not following what came before. And it's like, it's like, why read a book consistently if you're just going to keep changing the story and direction?
Well, they also don't get it, because they just had a story not too long ago with Captain Marvel, the Carol Danvers version. Another example of having to give a butch haircut to a woman to make her tough. I don't get that, and make her cranky. Warbird was a badass character, and she had long hair, and she looked like a woman, but whatever.
Right.
She was her, and it was Kamala. What's her name? Something Kamala. She's the other Miss Marvel who can stretch, and she's the Muslim girl. I forget her name, but anyway. So the whole issue was about guys inappropriately Facebook messaging them based on their looks. That was the whole issue. Right. That's what I collect a comic for? Really? I collect a comic to hear women complaining that men didn't know how to act appropriately. This is where we had to make the statement. I mean, you couldn't just make a post on Facebook and then give us a good story. I mean... Right. With Carol Danvers fighting cosmic beings, that's what her focus was on in this episode. I don't understand, and they're not getting it. They're not getting it.
Yeah.
So
it's like they feel that they're forced to tell specific stories. I don't know.
Real Arcadian is killing me. Real Arcadian. But you're a man, And the truth is, I know there are men that are inappropriate. I understand that that's a subject matter that women have to deal with, but not in a comic book. That's not the place for it. That is not the place for it.
Take this. Yeah.
Make a Facebook post, or if you want to make a blog and talk about it, go for it. But don't put it in my comic book, because that's really just putting all men in a box. Not all men do that. Not all men are perverts and disrespectful. And honestly, I don't know how often women get those messages, so I can't say either or. But again, a comic book is not the place for that message.
Yeah, I mean, I do know a number of women who've just been harassed because they're online and they, certain guys think they're targets.
Right.
It's not the case. Guys, go away. You're idiots.
Yeah, and again, it's not about condoning that behavior. It's just saying that a comic book story, that's not good comic book writing.
No.
I mean, go get a blog and talk about those social issues. Don't put it in my comic book. Also, you just alienated all the men from wanting to read that comic because we can't relate to that. By the way, I wouldn't mind if women want to send me those kind of messages. I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah.
Dory was saying that her comedy webtoon is making fun of the ridiculous hysterics of dating, but it also has love and spirituality. And that's the thing. Yeah. Why aren't we focusing on stuff like that, Dory? Why aren't we focusing on the good things? I mean, the courting and swooning and the guys that do show respect to women. The guys that are considered weak by women. Women like the tough guy. Well, the tough guy is usually not the one treating you nice.
Nefarious. What did I walk into?
We were talking about DC and Marvel and the social commentary that they're putting in their books these days that are turning a lot of people off. And I went specifically to an issue that Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, and Miss Marvel, I forget her name, Kamala something. The whole issue was about them getting inappropriate Facebook messages and texts from men. And that was the whole point of that issue. And so that's what you walked in on, just us talking about, that's a commentary to make on a blog or on a social post, but not to put in a comic book and make a story out of, at least in my opinion. This is all my opinion.
Nefarious, since you're here, do you have any special plans for the last, leg of your Indiegogo with Mavericks? Because I mentioned it early on. I don't know if you have any plans. If you have any plans, let us know right now, and we'll let people know where they can find you or whatever you're up to.
Oh, and I need Ricardo needs an answer on which cover, so he can get going and render it, and then Pete can ink it.
There you go. I guess we just announced it.
What's that?
I guess we just announced that.
Sorry.
Extend for another.
I didn't know that was a secret. My apologies.
Well, I don't know if it is, but I never assume. Well, that's awesome. You guys going to be on Indiegogo longer then. Cool.
Dory was saying her romance comic that she's writing is totally inspired by finding out that Kirby wrote romance comics. I have a plan now that I can get behind for mine. Oh, very cool. Very cool. I mean, it's to the point where people are saying they're writing something new and different, but they really aren't.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Cover 3.
Yeah, send it to me.
With slight modifications.
Hey, my edits are part of the game. We have no problem. You tell us what you want. Your cover. Cool.
It just goes, ooh, exclusively.
Yeah. Look at the things that you learn on Peter Palmiotti's show.
That's right.
World exclusive. There you go. Here's another exclusive. Tragedy, Indiegogo. This foil cover is only on Indiegogo. So you guys got to go to Indiegogo and pick it up. Please, if you miss comics that were written for the sake of good story and protagonists that you can root for, I think you'll like Tragedy. Please pick it up.
Some people have mentioned, I think it's foil covers, or unless it's something different. Like, I've been hearing metal covers. Is that the same thing?
No, what they do is they literally take a metal cover and it's saddled onto the cover of the book. I'm not a big fan of metal covers on books, but I like metal prints. But some people love the metal. If you want the foil, you need to spoil yourself. There you go. You want to be my marketing strategist? I can use it. I need some help here.
Yeah, I like the metal, but it is like bulky and heavy, and
Well,
it's like,
that's my point. Is I think the metal, I risk that it'll rip the spine after time, just the weight of it, because it's just on paper.
Yeah. And Nefarious says, Ictus exclusively Mavericks also be on Kickstarter with a cover by Ricardo Silver, interior artist on Tragedy, and
wow, that was really cool.
She would
Yeah, he did some she pages. That is so awesome of you to say that, dude. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you to give that shout out. Thank you. As a matter of fact, they're going to be on my show. I forget the date. I think September 1st. They're going to be on my show to promote Maverick. Huh?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it's at nighttime, the show. So that's my 9-year-old. She's hanging out with me. Oh, you got V. Ken to do a cover? V. Ken's a friend of mine. His pencils are phenomenal. They're so unbelievable. Did you have to go through Modern Mythology, or did you talk to Ken? Because I don't know if everything's going through Modern Mythology with them or if they're just selling his art. October 1st? Oh, okay. October 1st, not September 1st. Gotcha. Let me make sure I put that on right. Yeah.
Maybe they're doing 2 shows.
No, I've been doing so much that I've been overwhelmed with everything that I've been doing. Like I said, my physical convention, Tragedy on Indiegogo, Tragedy number 2 is underway. My Q&A, my art repping. Yeah, you did go through Josh. Okay, cool. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Go
ahead. Hey, Ryan's here. Hey, Ryan. Welcome. Now I was gonna say, like, I know you got like all your different things you're doing, and I'm only seeing the action from the outside, but I know how incredibly busy you are.
I get 3 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, and I'm not the only one who does it. A lot of people are grinding and hustling. They do their day job, and I work 3 jobs as a registered nurse during the day, and I've got a 9 and 7-year-old girl and my wife and everything in the house, and I do all that other stuff. Yeah, Josh. I didn't know if Josh was just doing his art sales or not. I haven't talked to V. Ken in a while, but he's a friend of mine, and he's a good guy. He's an amazing artist. I have original samples he did for X-Men before people knew who V. Ken was, before he was on DC, and my God, are they just gorgeous? I mean, the guy he's amazing. V. Ken Marion, his pencil is just incredible. Just incredible.
This Nefarious hitting up the big players in the play.
Oh, you did get the Kickstarter Tragedy package? Cool. I hope you read the story and you like it. If you don't, you want to message me what you think is wrong with it. I have thick skin. It doesn't bother me. I just want to be better. If you do like it and you're willing to write a review and I can use it as a promo, I'd be grateful. I've gotten some great reviews from a lot of people, and I hope to keep it going. Yeah, and talking about big names, like I said, I've got Will Spatasio on this. I've got Ian Churchill on this. I've got Larry Stroman. I've got Sean Chen. I've got Chance Wolfe. I've got Peter Palmiotti. I've got Keith Williams. Yeah, we got some big names on this. Geraldo Borges, who's DC Marvel. Adelso Corona, Ace Continuado. Crease. We got some big names on this book, guys. Big names that don't do variant covers. And you could pick up a rare variant cover, And the card stock on this book, I'm telling you, is top notch. You can easily get a 9.9 on these things. Yeah, V. Ken's incredible. Him and Mark Sylvester are my favorite artists of all time. So, you've inked 3 of which dudes? On Nefarious' book or on Tragedy? So
probably the artists that you're naming off. 3 of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, they don't do variant covers. Why Tragedy if it's a strategy? My marketing is a strategy. Did it get spelled wrong somewhere? Or you know what's funny is every time somebody posts, they write strategy instead of tragedy. Yeah, I mean, I know where you can go to get Mark, but Mark is going to charge you probably minimum $10,000 to do a cover if he even does it. So Mark doesn't really.
Half.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to do covers anymore. Commissions are alone are like 4 and up. You've inked Wills, Stroman, Wolf. Great, cool, very cool.
Yeah, Ryan's pretty good.
So yeah, I mean, and then you get the foils, like I said. Now these are lava foils. I might even get the rainbow foils as well and sell both of them, because honestly, I don't know which is going to look better, but I have them coming. They're being printed, so I can see which looks better. I kind of wonder, rainbow is usually the one people do, but I have a feeling the lava is going to look nicer, especially with like here with the flames, with the lightning and with the mirror reflection and the reflection of the weapons. We'll find out. And there you go. And then you've got the original art prints of the original artwork. Tragedy 2, Tyler Kirkham is doing a cover. Al Garza is doing a cover. Ryan Kincaid is supposed to do a cover, but I don't know if he still is because he's been busy and he didn't get back to me in the last thing. But he did 2 shows 2 weekends in a row, so that's probably why he hasn't gotten back to me. And we have a lot of big names coming up doing covers throughout the next, throughout all the issues. There's going to be a lot of really cool, well-known artists, but I also get some of the best indie artists in the world on books. I was going to look to get V. Ken to do a cover as well. I'm just waiting a little bit because there are other people ahead. So, assuming he would, I think he would. I mean, we've been friends for a while. So, oh, you did? That's great. Mark Sylvester is amazing. I mean, his work on Cyberforce is incredible. And I mean, he did this. Work. He did this, and he did this pencil of Gotham City. There's no characters in it, but it's so freaking beautiful that I would spend money just to see him draw Gotham City. I mean, that's how freaking good Mark Sylvester is. That it doesn't have to have a character in it,
He is super talented.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, because I'm a show promoter and an art collector, I've become friends with a lot of the more well-known names in the industry. So I've been very fortunate to form relationships with them. I have some big news with other big artists that I can't announce now coming up that are really cool. There's one that I'm really excited about. It's a big-name artist with their own character that I'm going to be doing a crossover cover with them. And I think that's going to be phenomenal. Huh? What? Yeah, but they can hear you on the mic. Yes, it is. Isn't it awesome? My daughter was whispering, is it blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I love Cyberforce, the original incarnation. It really was depressing when it ended after like 20-something issues. I know it was kind of like the X-Men, but I loved it. The art was great, and believe it or not, the writing wasn't bad either. Youngblood, I thought the team aesthetics was really cool. Was the writing great? No, but it still was fun. I think we've gotten away from superhero spandex fun,
There's definitely a lot of people trying to bring that flavor back. Oh,
I'm sorry, to clarify, it's a print of the original art. I'm keeping all the art. I'm not selling original art to Tragedy, and I'll give you my reason why. It's not like selfishness or greed or thinking that it's going to be worth something someday. It's because Well, first, what I meant was this is a comic says print of the original art that was sent in to me, the covers. So sorry, let me clarify that. Real Arcalia, thanks for coming out, man. It was good talking to you. Have a good time. Have a great day.
Yeah, take care, Jay.
The reason why I'm keeping all the pages and original art is because I'm trying to teach my daughters that life can be as beautiful as you allow it to be if you embrace it with both arms and you fight and you go get what you want. Don't sit there wasting your time on what's going wrong or blaming those that are making your life hard, because at the end of the day, it's ultimately you that decides what your life is. And these pages are going to go to my daughter as a reminder of that no matter what happens, even if tragedy is not huge, I got to do what I wanted. I got to make a comic book. I got to immortalize my writing in a book. And those pages will be going to my daughters. And they can do what they want with them, but that's it. It's for them. It's to show them. Because, they have this writing on their wall about dream big and do this and do that, and that's all horseshit. I'm sorry. Putting up words on a wall maybe is inspirational for 5 minutes, and then it just becomes a decoration. I have to be it. I have to do it. I have to show it so that when they read those words, they go, that's true, Daddy did it. I have to be that example for them. And those pages are always going to be the reminder to them that Daddy did it. Even if it doesn't become big, like I said, I still did it. I still grabbed the life by the throat and said, this is what I want. And that's why I'm keeping the pages. So anybody who works with me has to be willing to sell me the original art. And again, sell me. I don't expect it handed to me freely. You pay for the commission, but then you have to pay for the original art besides. So it's not even me looking just for total creation, because you know what? Everybody who works on my book, I told them, even though I own the original art, you have full permission legally to make prints of your cover and tragedy, as long as you give me creator-owned credit on the bottom of the print, and I don't want any percentage of it. Go ahead and make your prints. If they can sell, go sell them. So it's not about me wanting to be the only one with it. It's just really about my kids.
Yeah.
And there are some pieces I would never sell anyway, just because I love them, like Ian Churchill's.
Yeah, totally. Dory, what time? That's 1 p.m. Pacific time, you were saying, I believe. Red Valkyrie is going to launch her book today. I don't know if you know Red Valkyrie.
I don't.
Yeah, she's a
I
YouTuber.
didn't know about this. Dory, share it to my page. So that'd be 4 p.m. today. That'd be 4 p.m. today then for me on the East Coast.
Tag us all, post it, link it. Do you want to refresh your page and see if we'll take a shot in the dark?
Sure.
See if we got.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. People haven't been going big on the Indiegogo because they went big on the Kickstarter, so it's been tough reaching a new audience. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm grateful for everybody. We're funded, and we'll just keep plugging along. I am being sold in a ton of stores in Long Island. And the funny thing is, I have some stores that bought issues outright. They didn't do a consignment. They literally believe in the book's selling ability, and they bought them outright. And I'm being sold by Clan McDonald, and we're getting out there. Other avenues. We're going to get on Comixology after Indiegogo, and we might stay on In Demand on Indiegogo, and you can buy through me. So it'll be fun. Congratulations, Dory. Yeah, share it. Seriously, Dory, share it to my page or send me the link in DM and I'll post it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't copy that. Well, I can't copy it. I can only click on it. But, yeah, do that. Like share on Facebook, share on Twitter, and we'll get the link and share it out.
Yeah, some people get bent out of shape about, tags. I do not. Anybody can tag me at any time, and go on Comic Shop with Ryan Wynn and John. Yeah, I don't even know about that. And thanks for telling me. I wasn't even aware. Look, I believe it or not, I'm fairly new to the indie community. I don't know a lot of the different podcasts or shops or online avenues. So please forgive me if there are people that are popular in the indie community that maybe I'm not aware of. That's just my own ignorance.
Right.
But yeah, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, Ryan's a good guy, and he does a show called Comic Ship, and does good interviews. So if he'd have you, I'm on his channel next month. I have to look up the date. I forget. I think it's early September.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that would be willing to put me on and thinks I'd be a guest that worthy of being on, I'm grateful. I'd love to come on and promote Tragedy and my art repping and my convention and my live stream and Tragedy 2, and I have a ton of stuff going on. I have my live convention next Saturday, so yeah, I mean, it would be great.
Yeah.
But there's a few guys that said they'd love to have me on. I emailed and I never heard back, so maybe they're just busy or whatever. But so if anybody would want me on, please let me know. I'd be grateful.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna just before we go, click out of this. Go pledge,
let me remove
share Tragedy. And yeah, let me do this. Just want to show off what I got on here.
Very nice.
Thanks. So there's a lot of cross hatching, feathering over there, but mostly this is a pretty straightforward page, but fun sort of sequence in the story. But it's mostly done. I'll finish this later today.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Very nice.
Yeah, so retro's moving forward, folks. We'll get there.
By the way, Dory shared. She tagged you and I in her post, so it's up on Facebook. I just commented and liked. And I just want to remind everybody, great. The best thing you can do if you can't throw money at something or pledge is comment and like on their post, because it bumps them up in the Facebook feed. So if you see what Dory puts up, put a like and just put a simple comment. It could be emoji, it could be awesome, it could be congratulations, it could be one word. It takes you 30 seconds to do it, and it bumps her up in the feed and gets more people to see it. So, please do that.
Say, I like tacos. That always works.
Exactly. There's my daughter, by the way. There's both.
Hello.
Little munchkins. Sorry, there's Melanie, my 9-year-old. You can't see my name tag is in your face. There you go. That's Melanie. She's a published cover artist. And that's Kaylee, another published cover artist. Where are you, Kaylee? There you are. Kaylee is the beast from the east.
Nice.
Don't scream. You're on the mic. You're going to blow everybody's ears out.
Sorry.
Thanks for having me on, Pete. I really appreciate it. I look forward to Retro, man.
Thank you. And yeah, thanks for coming on. More success for Tragedy going forward. I'm just excited to see the book and see it continue and go on. So.
Oh, by the way, if you go to www.blegendaryillustrations.com, you will find a lot of original art that was inked by Peter Palmiotti for sale. You can also hire him for commissions. Just reach out to contact@blegendaryillustrations.com. And just so you know, Pete, on the website, for all the people that I rep, any Kickstarters or books that they're doing, I'm going to start a tab for it to be sold there. I'm not asking for any. I'm not asking for any of the money to just be an outlet to sell. So when Retro's out, if you want to throw it up there, we'll create a tab, and people can buy the book there. And I'm not asking for a percentage on that.
Yeah, we got a special request from Nefarious.
So it's been requested to buy the original art from you guys, but never. Daddy's going to keep that. That's my prized possession.
Well, they could do new pieces.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we could commission. Look at you. You're making money already. I'm your art rep. Look at that.
Aww.
So, yeah, we made only 10 covers of each of that they did for the family for the most part.
Right.
So it's
That's
rare.
awesome.
It's a rare cover. Well, I don't want to keep you, Pete. I know you want to get going. So thanks again, man.
Yep. Oh, thank you. Thank you for everybody showing up. If you haven't already, give this video a like so it gets seen across YouTube that much better. Subscribe if you haven't. Most of the people here have. Yeah, tune in tomorrow. I'm going to be setting up the tomorrow stream soon. I'll have on what's his name? Chad Nuss.
Chad Nuss. The Silence.
The Silence. Fantastic looking book, and you'll see it here first. No, he's been putting out of the place. But
and don't forget Dory. Dory Jones going live with.
Dory Jones in less than a half hour will be on Red Valkyrie. So just type in Red Valkyrie on YouTube and you'll probably find her. So you can see her premiere her book on Indiegogo.
Very cool.
Check it out. All right, everybody. Have a good one. And